Okay, so here's my canoe pack ripped apart. I'm going to explain what everything is. So the yellow dry bag you see in the foreground is my tent basically, but it's the dry portions of the tent rolled up with my saw just because it's convenient based on length, and my sleeping pad. And there's a couple other things thrown in there like some rope and some clothes pegs. The compression sack you see to its left is clothing, effectively, including the sleeping bag. With a good compression sack and proper packing, all of your clothes, even for a many-day trip, shouldn't be any more than that. Assuming you have a proper compressible sleeping bag. For summertime camping, it can be super light to begin with, but for everything else, as long as you have a down sleeping bag, it will compress very well. And directly behind it is my bear-proof food barrel. It's an 11-liter barrel. I take that on all of my solo trips. It doesn't really work or be practical for multiple people groups because it won't hold enough, but for me, it's absolutely perfect. The tiny little compression sack you can barely see behind the yellow bag is the wet stuff. It is the ground sheet for the tent, it's the fly for the tent, and it's the one little silt tarp that I take in the event of really crappy weather. I can hang a tarp and have a place to hang out under. The black dry bag behind that actually has 3 separate dry bags inside of it. That's my quote-unquote tent stuff. It's toilet paper, it's my book, it's my contact lens solution. It's all the stuff that I'm going to want, you know, while I'm in the tent. My emergency bag is in there. That includes my emergency kit. It includes extra batteries, an extra lighter, all the stuff that you should always have on any camping trip. And the third and final bag is my cooking gear. That's everything from my stove to the plate that I eat on, the spork, everything you need to get the fire going except of course the fuel itself. The canoe pack itself, you can only kind of see that the way I've arranged things. I apologize. There's a black dry bag on the back of it that actually has a spare pair of lightweight shoes on it. It's very nice when you've been trudging through the water all day and getting your water shoes wet to be able to get to your campsite at the end of the day and throw on a pair of shoes that are dry. Dry feet are a wonderful luxury and it's worth the wait. It also has my knife in there. It's just an easy, convenient place for it to be accessible if I need it in a hurry. There's also my fuel canister attached on a carabiner on the outside. You never want to pack your fuel inside your pack just in case there's a fuel spill. You don't want to ruin or destroy a good chunk of your gear. And you can't see that in this picture, but it is there on the other side of the dry bag. There's also my bear mace, again on a carabiner on the outside of the pack for easy access. And again, if for some reason it managed to shoot off on its own, you really don't want that in your pack because that stuff is nasty. So that's a basic breakdown of my stuff. Obviously there's a lot more detail I could get into about what is in every individual pack, but that should give you a brief understanding of kind of how I break my stuff down. All this stuff fits very easily into the dry hatches of my kayak. I stuff the canoe pack into the rear dry hatch mostly empty. Everything else between my front and rear dry hatches goes in with plenty of room to spare. And when I get to any given portage, all this stuff just gets quickly packed into the canoe pack, so I have one easy pack to carry over to the other side. So that's it.